Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of 25 Days Till Christmas. And I'm going to be reading Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Once there was a reindeer named Rudolph, who lived at the North Pole in Toyland. Rudolph was the younger and smaller than the other reindeer there. They all had proud, tall antlers. Rudolph's antlers were only tiny stubs. Worst of all, Rudolph had a nose that was big and bright red. It was so red that it glowed in the dark. Poor Rudolph. He wanted to be like the other reindeer in Toyland. Oh, to have a small brown nose instead of a bright big red one. Other reindeer made fun of him and called him names. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They all teased him over again till his nose glistened up. Sometimes reindeer made a circle around Rudolph and sang, red nose, a funny sight, big as an apple and twice as big. They kicked up snowballs with their tiny hooves and covered Rudolph with a blanket of white fluffy snow. All of the reindeer loved play games. They played tree tag and snow slide and trumblebones. But Rudolph was never asked to play. He stood behind the pine tree and watched. He was very lonely. Rudolph couldn't even play hide and seek with the rabbits. His glowing red nose gave him away every single time. Before Christmas Eve, Santa's elves posted a sign on the gate to Toyland. Santa's team choosing time, the sign said. All the reindeer were asked to line up at 8 o'clock in the meadow. Santa Claus was coming to choose the team that would deliver presents to every good little boy and girl. The reindeer finally danced with excitement. When they heard the news, they pranced and tossed their antlers and pawed the snowy ground with their hooves. Each reindeer hoped he would chosen to give Santa's sleigh. It was the greatest honor a reindeer could ever have. Rudolph sighed. He was ashamed to have Santa see his bright red nose, so he decided to hide. At 8 o'clock, when all the other reindeer has gone to the meadow, Rudolph hid behind the holly hedge. His bright red nose blended in with the red berries, and the thick growth leaves concealed the rest of him. No one could find him there. In the meadow, all the reindeer in Toyland except Rudolph stood in line while Santa expected them. Santa chose carefully. Only the fastest and the strongest and the best reindeer would do. I think Dasher would be fine, he said. He's the biggest reindeer, said Santa. Dasher wrote his elf assistants in the book, and Dancer is the strongest, said Santa's, pulling his beard. Dancer, wrote the elf. Ho, ho, let's see, continued Santa. Here's Prancer, and here's Vixen. They made the smoothest landing on top of the roofs. Comet is the fastest, and Cupid is the most sure-footed, said Santa. I picked them. And last, said Santa, I choose Donner and Blitzen. They're the best twisting over the tree and skimming over the telephone poles. The reindeers in Santa's team were very happy. They rubbed noses. They danced and clicked their ankles together. Even the reindeer who weren't chosen were given good jobs. One was trying out electric trains. Other was cuddling Christmas kittens. The only reindeer without a job was Rudolph. He wanted to help, but knew he would be laughed at. So he stayed hidden behind the holly edge. At last, it was Christmas Eve. Santa's elves were busy packing the sleigh. I don't care if they make fun of me, said Rudolph suddenly. I want to help too. He dashed out of the hiding place behind the hedge and went and found Santa. There must be something I can do to help, he decided. The night was bitter and cold, and terrible fog covered all the earth. Santa's elves kept bumping into one another as they hitched up the team. They could hardly see as they put up the bright red harnesses and tied each jingle bell. To make matters worse, Dasher and Dancer were fighting all over who was to be the leader. I was chosen first, said Dasher, stomping angrily. But you always trip over the moon, said Dancer, kicking a fallen star. Even Santa was crossed. We'll never get there, you two stop growling, he said. And where is my Christmas list? Dash it all. I can't see a thing in this fog. Just then, a soft glow lit up in the snow. Thank goodness, Santa said, suddenly jolly again. I found my list. Ho, ho. I must have tucked it in my belt. Who brought this fine lantern? Asked Santa. I must take it with me. Why, I can see perfectly now. It's not a lantern, said Rudolph, trembling. The light comes from my nose. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, said Santa. I'm certainly glad to see you. Your light will guide my sleigh tonight. I point you headed of my team and numbered 1 reindeer of them all. Rudolph held his head high, proudly, and pranced to the front of the team. All the reindeer bowed. Donner and Dancer helped Rudolph to put his harness on, and Cupid gave him a beautiful spring of holly berries. Then down through the clouds and over the sleeping houses, Santa and his team flew on the foggy Christmas Eve, and leading the whole processes was Ralph, the red-nosed reindeer. So if you see a soft glow in the sky on Christmas Eve, you could be sure that Rudolph is the most famous reindeer of them all, is very near. The end.